All right, we're live on Empowering Radio, brought to you by myempoweredworld.com. My name is Evan Dorian, and I'm joined by our co-host, Craig Cook. Craig, how you doing tonight?
Good. How you doing, Evan?
Good, doing great. Excited to be on the show tonight. We've got a great guest. Tonight we've got an empowering entrepreneur. His name is Torrey Tayenaka, and Torrey started his first business when he was 15 years old, and it's been nonstop ever since. One of his most recent ventures is Forge 54, and it's an exciting nonprofit organization that utilizes skilled giving to benefit good causes. So, Torrey, how are you doing tonight?
Great. Thanks for having me on here, guys.
We're excited to have you tonight. And just before we get started, I just want to give all of our listeners an overview once again. My Empowered World, we believe in a holistic approach to living an empowered lifestyle. And we help you achieve this by providing empowering experiences through content, products, tools, and services that elevate the mind, body, and spirit, resulting in a world that becomes a better place for everyone. So be sure to check out our website at myempoweredworld.com and sign up for our free daily empowerment emails. It's awesome inspiration and motivation and tips that's sent to your inbox daily. And also sign up for our on our social network channels. We got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once you sign up for those, you'll be in the Empowering World ecosystem. So you'll get all of our content and uplifting motivational stuff. So if anyone has any questions tonight, feel free to post them on our Facebook wall, and we'll try to get to them before the end of the show tonight. And Craig, I know you have some questions prepared for tonight, so why don't you go ahead and take it from here?
Sure thing. Thanks, Evan. Thanks a lot. So thanks, Torrey, for joining. No problem. And thanks, Torrey, for joining us tonight. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day.
Excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, as Evan stated earlier, you started your first business when I believe you were 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you? That's a pretty big thing for a 15-year-old to do. And at My Empowered World, part of what we feel is what empowerment stands for is really taking control of your world, your destiny, and becoming self-reliant. And this is what tonight's show is really about. You as an entrepreneur doing just that, and we'll get into the various things that you do with Forge 54 being one of them a little bit later. But why don't you tell us about yourself, your background, how you got started at 15, what motivated you, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I was doing the normal path. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, which was I had no clue what I wanted to do. I took every class possible. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I wanted to be a stockbroker. Pretty much, the big dream type jobs. And right around my sophomore year, I realized, I don't know what I want to do. And I saw a lot of my older friends going to school and kind of wasting money, not knowing what they wanted to do, going undecided into really expensive schooling. And so what I decided to do was kind of take a shift back, and I decided right then I'm going to go to junior college because I'm not going to know what I want to do when I'm out of high school. And so I started taking a bunch of different classes. In the fine arts, I took law classes, and the one that stuck out to me more than anything was video production. And so I took a video production with an amazing teacher, Landino, down at Capistrano Valley. And at the time, my mom is a real estate agent. She came home one day and said, "Hey, you fell in love with this video class. I think you should check out this video I just got done for one of my houses." And I looked at it and I said, "Mom, that's boring. It's no good." And she said, "Really? I just paid someone $60. And she said that my eyes just lit up because I was like, "You paid someone $60 to make this?" And I was like, "I will do it for $50 tomorrow." And it just kind of took off from there. Obviously, as a 15-year-old, I had to get a ride to these jobs. My mom was driving me over to these houses to film. But, I was taking a long time. This was my art. This was my passion. And so instead of what you would normally get from these real estate videos where someone would come and spend 5-10 minutes, I would spend 2 hours filming these houses with actors and moving camera shots, and we'd make these great videos. And that kind of just, all of a sudden we were doing all the listing videos for my mom's office, which was Century 21 at the time, and then started doing Remax and started doing commercials for these real estate clients, and that grew into online marketing with websites and photography and videos about the companies themselves. And that's all before I went to my first film school, which was Saddleback Film School, and then moved on to USC Film School, where again I just continued to build my passion towards film and how I could use film to market companies, brands, products, things like that.
So that's interesting. You were in high school. You decided to start your business based on things that you were observing out there, which is really an astute observation at that age. That's awesome. And then what's interesting is you went ahead, started the business, decided on something that you were passionate about, and then as you were working through that, decided to go back to school to learn more of the craft, I guess. What was kind of the thinking and motivation beyond with that? Because sometimes some people might say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to go back to school. I'm just going to do this. Not that one way is right or wrong, but, this is a really interesting story with the way you did things along your journey. Just tell us about, the reason why you did that and what you got out of it.
Yeah, I just always, growing up, I always knew I was going to go to college. I mean, that's been engraved into my family, to go to school. But even once I started the company, I've always just wanted to learn more. And so I, again, had an amazing film teacher in high school, taught me a lot. I also went to this kind of extracurricular film program called Film Ed, which is in a high school program, and learned even more there. I had a huge resume coming out of high school. But I went to Saddleback Junior College, which has one of the best film schools in Southern California. In California, I guarantee it. They have amazing gear, amazing teachers over there as well. And again, just learned so much. But what I found out is every year that I went to school, I got a bigger network of talent. I got a bigger network of employees and people that I could collaborate with. We had so many connections from schools, from helpful teachers, from helpful students. Our students became our first clients. These are the people that are graduating and being entry-level positions at other jobs, and all of a sudden we were getting hired by them. And so I thought it was a no-brainer to go from Saddleback to USC, because USC is known for just connecting you with those type of people. And when I went up to USC, I brought my Orange County kind of film posse with me, and we made a bunch of films up in LA. And again, just connecting ourselves, kind of flexing our muscles of what our young filmmaking abilities had. And we set ourselves up as, people knew who we were. People knew that we ran a company, and people knew that we were looking for talented people to be in the commercial world. USC is made for a lot of movies, but anyone that was interested in commercials definitely made a point of reaching out to us and making sure that we're connected. And I still can stay connected with them every year. I go up there and tailgate, and I was up there this last weekend, always seeing people from the film industry up there. It's definitely something that I keep inside our back pocket.
That's awesome. That's a great story. You're really utilizing the network, the school network, and also the aspect of what I keyed in on was the fact that you had a lot of young talent that's full of energy and passion to just go for it. That's great. It's
amazing. It's amazing what you see. The teams or the little group projects that are created in a college atmosphere, because there's nothing more important than creating a great work. So you see true passion and just some crazy stuff coming out of there.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, what do you think? Is it time for a station ID?
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Empowering Radio for My Empowered World. Visit us at myempoweredworld.com. Become a subscriber and get daily inspirational messages delivered to your inbox.
And we're back with Empowering Radio, brought to you by My Empowered World, with our guest, Torrey Tayenaka. And be sure to go on to myempoweredworld.com. We have a recent article post regarding Forge 54. You can learn more about what they have created, and it's a great nonprofit organization. And go in there, myempoweredworld.com, and check out the article. And Craig, you want to take it from here?
Sure. All right, great. So, let's get onto that topic here in just a minute. Before we do, though, one of the things that you've been working on, and you're actually running one right now for Forge 54, is an Indiegogo campaign. And we saw one that you had done previously, which is really cool for a really great product that seems like there's a big need in the world for that as a type of a mosquito repellent, right? Why don't you tell us about that for a couple minutes, and then we'll get to Forge 54.
So about last July, me and a team out in Riverside, I was part of the team that created a wearable mosquito repellent called the Kite Patch. The patch isn't necessarily groundbreaking, but the formula that we use is pretty groundbreaking. And the formula that was created by a laboratory called IE Crowd out in Riverside, they created this compound that actually stops the ability of mosquitoes to smell CO2 or sense CO2, and that's their main that's the main way that they track human beings. They sense the CO2 that we output. So we've been doing some marketing for them through Sparkhouse, my company, and the founders there noticed kind of our passion for entrepreneurship, our passion for bootstrapping and startups, and so they brought us this concept, this idea, and they said, we have this compound. What can we do? What can we create from this? Can we create the next best mosquito repellent? And my partners and I kind of took a look at that and said, you know what? We're probably not going to be able to compete with these big brands out there with $1 million budgets. And we knew we had this great non-toxic compound. And if you look at the market right now, it's either poisonous mosquito repellent or there's the non-poisonous, not working mosquito repellent. And we knew that we would be put into that bucket of not working mosquito repellent as soon as we said it's non-toxic. But we came out with a mosquito repellent patch and just did a big branding campaign on Indiegogo. And within 45 days, we raised over $500,000. And we have over 11,000 backers, which is really our family, our first advocates for our product. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we wanted to give back to the community. And so one of the things we did is every patch that's sold here in America, we donate another patch to Uganda, where kids are struggling from malaria and other diseases caused by mosquito-borne ailments. And we partnered with a great nonprofit out there called Pilgrim Africa, who's helping us deploy those patches out there. But it was quite a roller coaster, kind of learning that crowdfunding campaign and how much work goes into a campaign like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great story. Great thing you're doing now. And a product like that where you can help save lives. I mean, you're literally making a huge impact on the world with that product of sort.
It's amazing the press that we've gotten, and we're just trying to make sure that we can fulfill properly. There's so many things, even after crowdfunding, how much more product development has to go because this has to be a great product. It can't be something that just sits out there. It's got to be a great working product as well.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Well,
where are you guys at with that today?
So we're still in trials. There's a lot of things that have to be done with EPA, FDA regulations and things like that to deploy it here in the U.S. We're pushing as hard as we can to get it out into Uganda for the initial testing, and that's actually part of the model is we're sending it out to Uganda where there's less regulations, where we can test the product, get the input so that we can optimize the product, and then, again, ship it both to Uganda and to the U.S. backers that we got through our Indiegogo campaign.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's talk about Forge 54. This is another great organization here that you're involved with, and I believe you were actually one of the founders, or if not the founder, and you're running an Indiegogo campaign right now for Forge 54. Just go ahead and tell us about what it's all about and also the campaign that you're running.
Yeah, so Forge 54 is a model that was created because of a frustration that we had a few years ago I'm part of the Ad Federation of Orange County, and one of our things as a national organization is that we're supposed to donate our services, our marketing services, to a nonprofit. So our networking group is advertising and marketing professional students. And we had a very hard time doing that because of the checks and balances and the board meetings and the voting and just the attitude that some of these nonprofits had when we were trying to donate a rebrand, a commercial, anything it might be. There's just too many problems. And so we had spent 6 months, and I really didn't see much work getting done. And so with the Forge 54 models, we bring together as many young professionals, students in the advertising and marketing world, bring them together. The first year was last year. We brought them into my office Friday at noon, and we just slammed them. We closed the doors, and we all got in, and we really just hit the ground running. And we work nonstop, 54 hours. We take some naps. We take some walks to try to get some air. We drink a lot of coffee. But no joke, 54 hours, these young professionals donate their services to a nonprofit. So last year was our first year, and we did the OC Food Bank, and we created them a new logo, a new slogan, a new website, a mobile app, a bunch of commercials and infographics, totaling over $160,000 worth of donated services from these young professionals and students that are just like thriving in the industry. And because of those results, we've seen some amazing stuff happening at the OC Food Bank. It's awesome seeing our logo on the trucks, on all of the boxes that are shipping food to all the people in need around Orange County. But also our group has grown dramatically, and so our event is coming up. Our next second annual event is coming up September 12th through the 14th, and our nonprofit this year is Playworks, Southern California, which is another great nonprofit. But this year we've gone from 47 people to now we're expecting upwards of almost 80 people to donate their entire weekend towards this great nonprofit.
That's fantastic. How stoked was OC Food Bank last year when you provided all that great stuff that you just mentioned to them? How was that received, and what did they say to you?
It's still, they still call me and text me about every time some sort of big impact has because of the work that was done. They just, it's the nonprofit world, and I think that's another side topic that needs to change, but they don't put money into marketing, and they don't know how to get their words out. And so what was great about the OC Food Bank is we got lucky, to be honest. We reached out on our first year, and we tried to explain this kind of lavish concept to nonprofits and said, this is what we think can happen. Can you trust us and give us an entire weekend? And the OC Food Bank, they kind of dove right in. They said, yes, let's go for it. And one of the main reasons why I think we were able to create so much great work for this nonprofit is when our team got to hear from the words of the board about how much they needed it, how much they cared, and how much this was their life's passion. They're working for this nonprofit not for a paycheck, because they truly believe they can make a difference. And they said, if they looked into the eyes of our designers and our videographers and said, if you can help me get the word out there, I can help this many more people. And it really kind of fired everyone up. And you saw some big time passion coming from these designers and creators over the weekend that we were working.
That's great. That's a great story. Fortune favors the bold, and they were bold enough to give you guys a chance to get this idea kicked off the ground. Yeah, definitely all the stars aligned, and it was great to see it, especially as a first year, to take that kind of risk. But now that we've kind of got that proven case study, we had a great reach out this year and had a lot of people applying. We had a lot of nonprofits interested, and it was a struggle this year because I had to interview some of them and turn them down, and we saw some great nonprofits out there that are in need, and so we're definitely looking to grow it up in the next couple of years. Go ahead.
I was just saying that we denied a few people, via email, and that was pretty tough. But once I did the phone interviews and got down to the final three, man, turning away those two that we didn't pick, that was a tough one, because they were telling us, just again how much that we could help them and how much more their organization would be able to impact, their cause. And we tried to pick the one that we could not necessarily just fit exactly, but where our services fit perfectly into their needs. Not necessarily the organization that needed the most help, but the one that we could make the biggest difference.
Hey, Torrey, are these located just in Orange County? Are they located in LA as well, or all over?
So we're trying to help local nonprofits, so SoCal. Playworks, which is the group that we're helping this year, is their headquarters for Playworks SoCal is in LA, but they help schools all the way down into Santa Ana here. And so a lot of our work is going to be, of the weekend, we're going to be filming over at the elementary schools in Santa Ana that they're affecting. One of the big things that we're pushing this year, though, for Playworks is to get their organization out to every school that needs them, not necessarily meaning that Playworks has to be at every school, but their mission and all of their lessons and all of the things that they can teach the school, the kids and the teachers, all of that gets to all the interested parties, at least all around the nation, actually.
Oh, that's great. Before we take our next station break, why don't you tell people where they can find out more information on Forge 54 and also on how they can support you on your Indiegogo campaign?
Yeah, so right now we have the easiest place is Forge 54, so FORGE, the number 54.com. If you go there, you can learn about what we did last year. There, we have a recap video, a little documentary about how we helped the OC Food Bank, a little video about what is Forge, and then also a link there for our Indiegogo campaign. As you know, as everyone's volunteering their time for 54 hours, again, 70 people. We have a lot of food that we need to give them. We have a lot of coffee, a lot of Gatorades and energy drinks and things like that. So the biggest expense by far for our weekend is going to be the food to provide for all of these people. And so we're trying to raise money on Indiegogo, and we're about 65% of the way. We still got another 15 days, so we're hoping we can reach that by the time we hit our weekend on the 12th.
Awesome. All right, well, listeners out there, support Torrey and this organization. They're really doing some great stuff, and we want to see this be an ongoing thing. It sounds like it's going to be based on the people that are wanting to get involved and hoping that their organization can benefit from it. Evan, how about a station ID break before we finish up here?
Got it.
You're listening to Empowering Radio from My Empowered World. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MyEmpoweredWorld. And remember to share and help us spread our message of empowerment.
And we're back with Empowering Radio, brought to you by My Empowered World. Be sure to check out My Empowered World for all your daily inspiration and motivation. We're back with Torrey Tayenaka from Forge 54. And Craig, you want to take it from here?
Sure thing. So this has been great, Torrey. This is really inspiring for a lot of people to hear your story, especially people that are kind of considering going into business or maybe even getting into the nonprofit world. Or both. As you've demonstrated, you can have both. You have your main business, which is a video production company, Spark House, and you started this awesome organization, Forge 54, and doing some other exciting things. It's really great. So, let's kind of talk about, back to you and getting involved in so many things and at a young age and keeping things going. What kind of challenges have you faced in the past and even now, today, as you've been growing as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, I think any entrepreneur that loves starting companies and loves creating, the biggest problem is time. And it's not, I don't think it's time in your day that you just don't have enough time to work on stuff, but it's about like quality time. And when you have your hands in too many different things, all of a sudden you start seeing the quality go down in some of them, and that upsets you even more than not being involved is if you do a poor job. And so, I'm involved in a few nonprofits. I help run a high school film festival once a year, and again, like you said, Forge 54, and Spark House being my main project. But then we always have side projects. So we've started a clothing line in the last couple of years, a health food application, and we're working on a few more already. I think the biggest thing is going back to the networks that we built during high school, junior college, and college. We have to surround ourselves with a great team as much as we can. We've got to be able to count on our partners, our employees, our bosses, whoever they might be, to not only do their tasks or do their job, but inspire you to do better and almost kind of, I love walking in from maybe it be a vacation or a sick day or maybe just a day that I sleep in, but when I show up and I check my email or I come into work and I'm blown away by what was created in the moments that I wasn't able to necessarily handhold everyone. That's when I know we got a good team going and we can create something cool.
Absolutely. So it sounds like the primary challenge is really the juggling act with balancing time and having focus, but you're able to overcome that by having an awesome team that's supporting your efforts, what it sounds like, right?
Definitely. I mean, and not to give any business or legal advice on partnerships, but I love partners. I love having a lot of people in the kitchen, a lot of people that have a vested interest in the outcome of what you're creating, because then you feel like you're on a team. How many in our audience here play sports, but you know what it's like when you're in the trenches battling and everyone wants to win and everyone's got that vested interest. That teamwork that comes in kind of gets you through that finish line. And again, Forge 54 is a huge part of that. If anyone wants to come out and check it out, Saturday night at midnight, it will be there will be arguments, there will be fights, and you can see the passion that people want to have the best possible product, and they're not willing to just go, hey, let's go to sleep. I'm kind of over this. They're going to be like, no, we're going to talk for another 3 hours until we figure this thing out and make the best product possible.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
So when there are some, kind of times of conflict or other challenges, this is probably about the last question we'll have time for, but, what do you do to stay in a positive mindset and just keep going?
I definitely that's a big struggle. You're always going to have conflicts. You're always going to have disagreements. I've learned that I like to surround myself with people that I admire and people that I know are super talented in things that I'm not talented in, and so I can count on them. If I don't understand a lot of things about mobile devices or web development, and that's why I like to have partners that do that. If people are talking about video, I will probably argue with them a lot longer than I will about a website. But again, that's why when someone asks me about a website, I look over to my left and I ask my good friend Delete, who's my favorite web developer, and I can trust his answer because we've gone again through the trenches and we understand each other. But he comes to me all the time. He came to me this afternoon asking me about a video question, and I'm able to give him my advice as much as I can. And if you can get a group of team members like that around you, then again, you can imagine how much less stress you have because someone's got your back in a topic that you may or may not understand fully.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, we're going to be having to close it up here in just a little bit here. But, Torrey, it's been a great interview here, great getting to know you better with what you're doing here with your different organizations and just your story. It's really inspiring.
No, thanks. I'm glad that we can get the word out there about Forge. If anyone is interested in applying, we're still always looking for great team members. So if you go to forge54.com, and always reach out to me. I'm like I said, I love building my network. So if anyone wants to reach out on LinkedIn or anything, connect. Let's grab coffee.
Awesome. All right, Evan, you want to take us out?
Yeah, thank you, Torrey. I really appreciate it, and good luck on your guys' Indiegogo campaign.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Life